Hi, I'm Roseanna from Moara Crochet, and today I'm going to be sharing you all of May's updates. Well, welcome. It has been a busy month and not so busy at the same time. This vlog is coming out a little bit later this month because I ended up actually being ill for nearly 3 weeks and everything stopped, life stops. I'm much better now, but it was a bit of a knockback just to completely stop everything. It was quite hard, but it's nice to be finally back into the swing of things, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I've been doing this month. Although I thought I'd not done very much, but looking back now I actually did quite a lot considering all the bed rests that I had to do. So I'm going to start off with my knitting projects. No, at the end of April I'd finished a lot of crochet, and I was a little bit crocheted out. So I promised myself that I could do a piece of knitting during the month of May because I got some yarn from Christmas, and here it's getting colder, so it was a treat that now I could actually knit. So before April finished, I just started a new jumper by Isabel Kreamer, and I just done the yoke. And because I had so much time of no designing, no filming, no videos, I actually got quite a lot of knitting done. And I managed to finish this jumper in 2 weeks. Because it was mindless knitting. Once I'd already done the yoke, I just went straight into mindless knitting. So I finished my whole jumper. I'm really pleased with it. And to be honest, I have been wearing this non-stop since the cold weather. It was quite a challenge to do 3 colors. This was something completely new for me. And like I said to you, every time I do a new knitting project, I'm trying to add a new technique to learn something new. So this was quite a challenge to do 3 different colors, but it was very satisfying. And because this yoke is quite small, it was actually quite a quick make. So this is my fully finished knit jumper, and this was made with Malabrigo Rio's yarn, which I got from Novelleria in São Paulo for Christmas. And I'm really pleased with how it came out. The only problem I have is that one sleeve, as you can see, is slightly different to the other because of the nature of it has no yarns. I didn't know because it'd already been yarn caked that this one was much lighter until I finished. But I'm really pleased with it overall, and to be honest, it's showing much more obvious on this camera than it does in real life. So I have a new jumper, so I'm really pleased with this. Learned some new techniques and used my Christmas yarn. And because I went from one illness to another, I have more time. So I started another jumper, and I actually finished this one in 1 week. It was quite a mindless knit. It was quite fun to do, and it was new techniques again. And this one is called the Weekender, and I bought some Gilead yarn from Tangled Yarn in the UK, and my godmother brought it over for me in her suitcase this year. So I had some extra time. I didn't have the headspace to do any crochet because all my crochet I need to calculate, I need to take photos, need to write. So I decided I'm going to start another jumper, not expecting to be able to finish it in a week. So I finished this on Saturday. I'd started it the Friday before, but then I had to frog it, so I started the Saturday again. So 8 days in total. And this is my black, like charcoaly color. It's not coming up. Let me see if I can get this to come up on the camera. It's really nice and speckled, and it's not black. It's like a charcoaly grey. So it goes on my grey, my blacky grey clothes really well. It's quite a boxy size with a little detail which goes down the front and down the back, and it's really pretty. And I just wanted to create a jumper that I can just throw on, which I know is going to match everything. And I feel like this fits the bill. That maybe in the future I might actually make a second version of this in a cotton and yak yarn. So watch this space, but for now I need to go back onto crochet. So I managed to finish 2 jumpers in 1 month. But now my knitting needles are being put down while I concentrate back on crochet. So I got 2 new jumpers for the season, and that will keep me going for the rest of the year, because we are in the depths of autumn here, and the days are beautiful and the evenings are really crisp and cold. So it's really nice to be able to put a jumper on and some boots. It was something I've not been able to do in Brazil before, but where we live, we do get that cold snap, so it's really, really nice. Just to let you know, today I'm wearing one of my own crochet pieces, which I made, when did I make this? I think late last year. Yeah, just before New Year. And this is a little like 70s style waistcoat made with some fingering weight yarn with some leftover yarn that I had. So I thought I'd just pop this on today as a little layer because it's quite cool. And then in the evening, I'll probably pop on a jumper. So those were my 2 knit projects. What's been happening in May? Now, the month of May has been actually quite busy for me. The first 2 weeks, I spent 2 solid weeks creating submissions, because at this time of year is when a lot of submissions go out, and you can apply to magazines and to companies and to yarn companies. And I have been writing lots and lots of patterns and designing patterns, which always sent out within the first 2 weeks of May. Now, I am really pleased to say that I actually passed with 3 companies. I can't share any of that with you now, but it was really pleasing and satisfying to know that my designs got passed on to the next level. So watch this space for late autumn. There's going to be a few of my designs popping up all over the place. So that was really, really exciting, and it's a nice new step for me as a small business to be showing my work to a broader audience. And I am just waiting now for the result from 1 more submission that I sent. So fingers crossed, what will be, but fingers crossed that I get onto this next level. If I don't, it's not meant to be, but if I do, it's gonna be a big, big step for me. So I am waiting eagerly for emails, but let's see what will happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I've got a lot of things planned for you over this year anyway. So the month of May was supposed to be the month of flowers for me. My plan was to create a flower a day, and I did quite well until I got ill. So I'm going to show you now what I actually managed to achieve. So my plan was to create this big, beautiful bouquet of flowers with the plan of creating 1 flower a day, which in actual fact was quite a big project to do. I didn't realize how labor intensive this would be, and I got about 15 days in, and then everything stopped. But also I sort of lost a bit of my crochet mojo. I wasn't in the mood. It's a lot of pieces, so it was kind of hard for me to get back into this project, and I haven't returned to it yet. I'm not feeling it at the moment, maybe in a few more days, but I'm going to show you now what I've created so far. So this is my crochet bouquet. It's quite small. I wanted it to be much bigger, but this is what I have been working on I'm hoping this is all in focus for you. And all the different crochet flowers with some crochet foliage as well. And my aim was to create this big beautiful bouquet, and I got halfway through and I'm sort of losing my crochet mojo, but I'm hoping it will come back. I think because I haven't crocheted for quite a while, I've been 3 weeks away from crochet, but this is what I've been working on. So yeah, spur me on, encourage me to finish this. It's a lot of piecework. Every single flower takes 2-3 hours to make, but I will admit, once you finish one flower, it is so satisfying. So this is what I've been doing, is creating a crochet bouquet. So let's see how this goes. I will keep at it. I am quite perseverant, but I'm quite sad that I stopped halfway through. But let's see how it goes. So this is so far, and I've got ranunculus flowers in here. I altered the pattern for this one is the dahlia, peony, eucalyptus, and I'm working on some other flowers as well to add to this arrangement. So watch this space. It will get there. I need time. There's no rush. Life is too short to be rushing everything. But I'm pleased with how far it's got. So give me a comment to tell me if you like what I've got so far. Another thing that happened this month, which I managed to get out in time, which I didn't think I would, was my free crochet pattern. So this month I also managed to release my new free flower pattern, which is Crochet Baby's Breath, which is also known as Gypsophilia. And this is a tiny, tiny little flower, which you can create in just under 1 minute. And I created this tutorial request, which I got in January. And the free pattern is now available on my website and also on YouTube. So I'll put a link up here for you to access that pattern. And this is now free and live. I also managed to film and get ready this month's free pattern. And this is a pattern I wanted to create for a long time. My succulent patterns do very, very well, and a lot of people like them. So I wanted to create another succulent pattern, which was not a flower, as a change to break up from all the flowers. And I decided to create the crochet falling heart. And here's my sample. And this little tiny flower is a little tiny green heart, and I'll show you how to do the embroidered veins also on the flower. And this pattern will be coming out this month in June. I haven't got a date for it yet. It will be in the next 2 weeks or so. So this is this month's pattern that is coming. So if you would like to be notified about this pattern, click the subscribe button or sign up to Moara Crochet's newsletter, and you'll be notified as soon as this pattern is live. Also, I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who sent in questions for me to answer. It was so nice to connect with you as a community, more one-on-one, in which I could answer your personal questions via YouTube. And I really, really enjoyed the experience. And I've also put out a survey on my newsletter to see if this would be something you would be interested more of in the future. A lot of people got back to me and said yes. So now if you ever have a crochet related question, you can just put it down below or send it to info@moaracrochet.com, or send me a message on Instagram, and I will do my best to answer your question. Now, I am quite small. I don't have a huge traffic like a lot of other designers, not yet. So I am planning just to do a question and answer maybe once a month, not once every 2 weeks. If you do have any questions, don't forget to send them to me, and I will answer them in the following question and answer. So thank you for everyone who took part. Thank you for helping this community grow, and I'm really pleased that people feel confident enough to send me a message and ask me some crochet knowledge. I have been crocheting for a very, very long time now. I've had a crochet business for a long time. I've sold on markets. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of courses. So it's really nice to be able to share this information, because not everybody has access, and sometimes we also don't have the time to invest on a big course, and sometimes you just want the bullet points. So if I can help you any way I can for your crochet work, crochet designing, crochet selling, I will try my best to help. So just send me a message and I will answer your questions. So this has been quite a short, sweet video today. Like I said, May has been quite up and down. But before we finish, I did get a yarn delivery. I've been waiting on yarn for weeks. Sometimes in Brazil, it's not as quick as you want it to be, but that's life. But my yarn did arrive. So like I said, I did 2 knitting projects. I don't actually need anything with knitting now. I'm very clothing conscious about what I have, and I try to make sure I fill in all the gaps of what I have, and I don't enjoy creating for creating's sake, because sometimes when you create too much, you don't actually use it. So for my next big project, it's not actually going to be for me, it's going to be for my daughter Pod. And I'm going to be making her a knitted jumper. But like I said, at the moment everything's off because I'm going back into crochet, but this is my project for July. And my yarn arrived, which Pod chose. And she chose quite a peachy pink colour, but in actual fact it was much more pink, like antique rose, than I expected. But I think it's going to be beautiful. So we ordered... Is it coming out? We ordered this yarn from Malabrigo. Again, Malabrigo Rios. And we have got four, what is this called? Four crochet cakes. No, 4 yarn cakes of this colour. I'm not sure what it's called. Oh, Lapacho. So it's called Lapacho. So I've got 4 of these, and the aim is to knit her the dot jumper by Knitting for Olive, and we're going to do it colourful because my little one loves colour. She doesn't do neutral, she doesn't do single colour, she wants every colour. And it was actually quite a good idea because I have lots of different yarns which I don't use very much. A lot of them are mohair, and I can't actually wear mohair, but my little one can. So the plan is to create the dot jumper with all my little balls of yarn that have been bought for me over the years, and these are all just leftover yarns, or yarns that people who find them in charity shops and they just buy it for me. I'm really lucky. I got quite a lot of really good quality mohair yarns, all from the charity shop for like 50p. So my godmother picks them up for me all the time, and these are all going to be used as all the little dots in the jumper. I have some Malabrigo left from my jumper, which as you can see blends perfectly, and some other yarns that are left over. So this is the plan for July when Pod is off school. So we're going to start this together, and hopefully it will be quite a challenge, but I want to make this quite a slow knit because I need to concentrate on my work, but I also need to make a jumper for Pod because it is quite cold. She does have other jumpers, but I would like to make my first jumper myself for her. So that is my projects with all my leftover yarns. So that's it for this month. It's been an up and down month, but there's been lots of little projects going on, or quite big projects. And let's see how I get on with the flowers. So I'm going to love you and leave you here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.